2022 NFL Power Ranking, Week 17. As we approach the end of the season, the NFL rankings rollercoaster continues. Who else is rising or falling heading into Week 17? At number 32, Denver Broncos. That loss to the Rams probably didn't save Nathaniel Hackett's job. That was the most embarrassing performance by a bad team all season, and was the exclamation point to a dumpster fire of a first season with Russell Wilson. At number 31, Indianapolis Colts. The Colts were eliminated from playoff contention in Week 16 once the Jaguars won to take over the AFC South lead from the Titans. They failed to get a late season spark from Nick Foles ahead of what should be the final two games under Jeff Saturday. At number 30, Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals' efforts were strong with a third-string quarterback, especially defensively on Sunday night, but it's not certain if moral victories and major injuries will be enough to save Cliff Kingsbury's job. At number 29, Chicago Bears. The Bears tried to run away with a shocking win over the Bills, but their major all-around defensive woes began to manifest in a massive way once the visitors cleaned up their own mistakes. Defense and receiving help will be high priorities in the 2023 offseason. At number 28, Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons were eliminated from playoff contention in Week 16 after their offensive-limited loss to the Ravens because of falling into clear last place in the NFC South. After overachieving early, their passing game and defensive issues couldn't be overcome. At number 27, Houston Texans. The Texans were showing some scrappiness against the Cowboys and Chiefs, and it added up to breaking through for a big spoiler victory at Tennessee. They still are down here with their shaky QB play and awful run defense. At number 26, Cleveland Browns. The Browns' first abbreviated season with Deshaun Watson will end without a playoff trip, and not because of quarterback play and the running game, but more for porous defense that became injury-riddled and struggled mightily versus the run at times and broke down versus the pass at other times. At number 25, Los Angeles Rams. The Rams had an offensive explosion sparked by the defense and Baker Mayfield, and continued the redemption run of Cam Akers. Credit to Sean McVay for having them play so well and hard so late without nothing on the line except pride. At number 24, Tennessee Titans. The Titans may have not been able to salvage another AFC South title and wildcard berth with rookie Malik Willis into an overwhelming starting QB role without Ryan Tannehill. Their rash of injuries on both sides of the ball and offensive limitations away from Derrick Henry also have been magnified. Number 23, New Orleans Saints. The Saints marched into cold and windy Cleveland and stayed gritty under Dennis Allen, keeping themselves in the NFC South race. They just haven't been able to put their defense running game and passing attack all together like they would have liked in a lost season under Kevin Stefanski. At number 22, Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks have had major issues stopping the run and containing tight ends all season, and those problems were prevalent as they lost again in Kansas City with not enough offense to compensate. They have overachieved regardless, but finishing below .500 is disappointing. At number 21, Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders cannot get out on their own way to be consistent and are too reliant on either surviving or rallying to win close games. It's caught up to them big time against lesser opponents. At number 20, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers were able to escape the Cardinals because of a more late Tom Brady heroics to shake off some early Brady mistakes and more inept passing. But their defense is getting big breaks at the right time. Number 19, Carolina Panthers. The Panthers followed their Week 14 game plan from running all over Seattle on the road to run all over Detroit on the road. Carolina has a lot of problems overall, but it can win the NFC South if it wins out. At number 18, New England Patriots. The Patriots were getting ripped by the Bengals offense and could do nothing around Mac Jones before a desperate and aggressive defense approach worked. Unfortunately, the personnel and execution in big close games isn't the same under Bill Belichick. At number 17, Pittsburgh Steelers. Counting out Rodgers is much like counting out Mike Tomlin. They both have their Super Bowl rings for a reason, as great competitors who dig deep to make the most of what they have. Tomlin's master's motivation is being seen most in the defense as expected. At number 16, Washington Commanders. The Commanders' uncertainty at quarterback between Carson Wentz and Taylor Heinicke is interesting for a playoff position team. Their defense have been a backbone of late, but it got a real wake-up call in San Francisco. At number 15, New York Jets. The Jets' offense went into the tank against a shaky Jaguars run defense and blew a big chance to reboot their AFC wildcard chances. But it's now clear Zach Wilson isn't the answer at franchise QB even in year 2. At number 14, New York Giants. Giants have had a lot of positives this season, including Daniel Jones showing some of the qualities of a franchise QB while being supported by a healthy Saquon Barkley and a better offense. The goal next year for Brian Daboll is getting the right receiving pop and improved run stoppers. At number 13, Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins, even after 4 consecutive losses, seem to be the unofficial dividing line for teams with a real shot at winning the Super Bowl because of their offensive firepower, but Tua Tagovailoa's mistakes increasing near the end of the season is concerning. At number 12, Green Bay Packers. The Packers amazingly are in control of their playoff fate after their massive win in Miami to stay alive. You can bet the Vikings don't want to see Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs right away at home. The Packers will be laser focused on beating the Vikings and Lions to end the season with much of it on Rodgers' play. Number 11, Detroit Lions. The Lions have been an explosive offense and have excelled as a home team this season, but their issues overall defensively and not being able to play as well on the road will likely cost them a playoff shot under Dan Campbell. At number 10, Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens didn't change much without Lamar Jackson, as Tyler Huntley continues to grind with a run-heavy offense. The defense, coming through again with Calais Campbell and Marcus Peters, was impressive. At number 9, Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars have figured out everything offensively and around breakout franchise QB Trevor Lawrence, and despite their defensive struggles are developing into a dangerous team for the AFC playoffs because of Doug Peterson's Super Bowl pedigree. At number 8, Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers are surging at the right time with Justin Herbert and have also found out more of a running game to match their passing juice with Austin Eckler and others. Watch out if their defense can keep making more of an impact. At number 7, Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings aren't lucky. They put themselves in position to win with good offensive play design that involves top skill players like Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, and TJ Hawkinson at the right times. They also prove defensive, and special teams can be a factor when needed. At number 6, Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys needed the win over the Eagles more for their confidence as real Super Bowl contenders out of the NFC versus thinking they can still win the NFC East. Dak Prescott did have more interception woes, but he recovered in a much-needed way. At number 5, Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are manufacturing offense in different ways as running backs Isaiah Pacheco and Jerick McKinnon have become legitimate game changer to play well off Travis Kelce. their defense also showed some needed timely pop against the Seahawks. At number 4, Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals got a little sloppy and perhaps overconfident in finding easy offense versus the Patriots in New England, and were fortunate to win and stay in first place in the AFC North. Joe Burrow has been great, but he could be better by avoiding a few key mistakes. At number 3, Buffalo Bills. The Bills' offensive still isn't the explosive machine that everybody expected, but it remains powered by the freight train Josh Allen, and now it's getting the right late-season locomotive help from the traditional running game and defense. At number 2, Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles gave it a great fight with Gardner Minshew and scored plenty with Devonta Smith and others to win in Dallas, but they had to be a little concerned about key pass defense breakdowns given their pressure prowess and secondary strength. They are still the team to beat in the NFC, but the D remains key. Finally, at number 1, San Francisco 49ers. There are plenty of moments to pick from, including McCaffrey's touchdown pass earlier in the game. But this catch not only spurred the Niners to a win against the Rams, but began the turnaround of their season. General Manager John Lynch has called McCaffrey a force multiplier for the many ways he affects a game, and McCaffrey provided a touchdown 3 ways against the Rams. The leaping catch served as a harbinger for the current 8-game winning streak that has elevated the 49ers from 3-4 no man's land to NFC West champs and legitimate Super Bowl contenders. What do you think of the rankings in Week 17? Like and subscribe to our channel, All Sports and Entertainment.